Hi, everyone. This is Lisa Suhr, bringing you episode 9. This is episode 9. It's been fun creating these videos this summer. I've pushed myself and grown a lot, just learning different ways to fine tune and make the videos a little better. So I hope that you're finding value in one or two of the things as well. So let's jump right into it. Number one this week is that there is a great free online tech conference coming up next week that anybody can register for and take part in. They're doing a lot of the videos live through Facebook Live, but they're going to save the recordings. So if you get registered, you'll get notification of the recordings and you'll have access to them for a couple weeks after the conference. So it's going to be going on all next week, and they've got 25 people, 25 video sessions, some really impressive founding topics. And so I just wanted to share that with you. If you're interested in getting registered, go to their website. It's there in the center of the screen, teachwithtechconference.com, and read about it. You can get registered there as well. I think it's just a cool time to be in education. I've been in education since 1990, and it used to be so much harder to find ways to grow as a professional. And today we can just get online and find so many great resources, and a lot of them don't cost very much. So all these kinds of resources, what we call webinars or online conferences like that, if you need professional development points, our district is very supportive of doing a write-up of participation in something like this for professional development points. So if you need help with that, let me know. But consider giving that a look at their website, teachwithtechconference.com. All right, number 2 this week. I wanted to be sure and share this. I think I might have mentioned it before to some people, but there is some great Chrome extensions that are available. And Chrome is a browser, and we won't talk a ton about extensions right now, but extensions are pieces of software you can add to your computer that give your browser extra functionality. And if you want help, if you've never installed an extension, you want help the first time, you let me know and I'll be glad to come and meet with you and talk to you about that. But if you're comfortable with extensions, if you don't have the Google training extension, it might be one you'd like to look at and try out. What it does is it simply adds an icon to all of your Google apps. So there's this little, I'm kind of circling it right up there. And I have a yellow arrow there pointing it to it. It adds the red, blue, green, and yellow circle with a question mark in the upper corner. So this is a little snippet from Google Docs, but it will show up in Google's slides and numbers and all the different Google apps. And it's just a tool that's sitting there. And if you have any questions about how do I do something in this Google Apps application, you can click that and it will open up a real quick tutorial on demand for you. So if you're in Google Slides and you're like, how do I put in an animation? Click it and then type in their search field animation and it'll bring up a quick tutorial. And it's even really a video and audio tutorial, so you can read about it, but you can also hear someone talk about it and demo it for you. So it's a pretty powerful extension. It's handy to have up there when you need it, so you don't have to go out of the application and start randomly looking at how do I do something in one of these apps. So I used it quite a bit, and I think it's good for anybody who's also new to Google applications. All right, number 3 this week is just a challenge, and it's sort of a 4-in-1 slide here because I'm going to give you 4 resources, but it's also just a challenge to everybody. As you get ready for this school year, I know everybody's worried about the content they're going to teach and how they're going to set up their rooms, and there's so many different things to be talking about and thinking about. I'm going to also challenge you to think about how can I step up my game from wherever it was last year just a little bit on the teaching of digital citizenship. It's everybody's responsibility in our district. And so I just want you to challenge yourself to add in one lesson, or in one existing lesson, how can I tie in digital citizenship in some way? So here's a slide that gives you some details on 4 different places you can go if you feel like you need to know a little bit more yourself or get some ideas on how you might be able to do that. The first one is Common Sense Media. The web address, commonsensemedia.org. It's actually a resource for parents as well. So look at the top of the screen for the 4 educators. Part of that website, they have a K-12 curriculum. If you want to download ready-to-go lessons, they've got videos, they've got all kinds of stuff. Or if you just want to go, they've got a training course that kind of helps teachers learn a little bit more about digital citizenship themselves. Google released last year their new tool called Be Internet Awesome. And it has a web based game platform, but they also have an entire curriculum for teachers. So their theme is be internet awesome, smart, alert, strong, kind, and brave. So they've got curriculum that you can download to help teach kids how to be all of those things when they're using the internet specifically. Okay. There's also a digital citizenship safety course now that's been added at Google's training center for educators. So I've talked about becoming level 1 and level 2 Google certified before, and that teacher center, so it's teacher center dot with Google.com. They have those training courses there. They added a training course now as well that's just for teachers to learn more about digital citizenship and safety. So it's just one more resource that you can go and get yourself a little bit more caught up to speed on maybe where you need to be with how do I teach digital citizenship skills? What do I need to know myself? Okay. Another challenge is, oh, and here's a picture. Sorry, I forgot to flip my slide there, but that's the picture. This is the agenda of the digital citizenship safety course. Why should you teach it? How do you teach about internet safety? How do you teach about savvy searching? You know, it's all great things. All right, the next resource is just a challenge that if you haven't ever really learned about what Creative Commons licensing is, I think that's something that every teacher should be getting their mind around, because more and more things are being shared online with various Creative Commons licensing. So there's different types of Creative Commons licenses, and this web address here, creativecommons.org/licenses, will kind of explain to you the various ways that things get shared online and what those licenses are. And understanding them is the first step in knowing how you can properly be using them and how your students can be using them properly as well. So if you don't know what Creative Commons is, it hasn't been around too terribly long, so a lot of people haven't really heard of it. But go and learn a little bit more about it. And learning about something is the first step to knowing how to apply it. All right, and the last resource I'm going to share, this is smartsocial.com is a website run by Josh Ochs, and his Twitter handle's there on the screen at Josh Ochs. He wrote a book called Light, Bright, and Polite. He has a podcast called Smart Social, and his business, because he is a for-profit business, is to try to educate parents and students and other professionals about how students can best represent themselves online. And so I will just kind of warn you that some of his website materials are not free, but there are a lot of great free things there. And they have a great area where they kind of evaluate popular apps, and you can sign up for their emails, and he'll send you timely information about things that you might not otherwise know about. So a new popular game that's like Fortnite right now is a huge popular game with young people, and that the first time I heard of Fortnite was from one of his email newsletters. So he's very on top of what's going on in the world of young people and social media and media in general. So it might just be a resource that you can go and learn a little bit more yourself. So step up your game. Everybody, all of us, a challenge is to step up our game on teaching digital citizenship this coming school year. All right, number 4 this week is I'm going to share an Edu-Allstar that I just found and started following this summer. He was a keynote speaker at ISTE, and his name is Michael Cohen. Do not get him confused with many of the other Michael Cohens you may have heard of. Michael Cohen, and he goes by the Tech Rabbi. He is a rabbi, and he works for a Jewish school, but or had worked for a Jewish school, but he's also pretty active on blogging, social media. He has a podcast, and he is an entrepreneur and creativity instigator is the way that he describes himself. And he is just a motivating person. He was one of the keynoters at ISTE. And so if you type his name in and then add to the search field ISTE 2018, you can probably listen to clips of his keynote. And he also did an Ignite session at ISTE. And I think if you go to his website, thetechrabbi.com, right now, it's featured at the top of the website, so you can listen to his Ignite session as well. All right, and number 5, I'm just going to challenge you with number 5 to be thinking about how can I be future ready in my teaching this year, by focusing on the 4 C's: creativity, collaboration, communication, critical thinking. Those are the 4 C's. And I'm going to share this resource. Steve Wick is a blogger, and he is an Edu-Allstar also in my mind. He is on Twitter at Wicked Ed Tech. His website there is is listed in the middle, and he also has a separate blog. So um, his resources on teaching with the four C's are really good at that website, sites.google.com/views/wicked. That's where his 4C resources can be found. And I would just encourage you to be thinking about, in addition to the C, we always focus on content, is we always focus on our content, but how can I also tie in at least one or maybe two or three of those other C's in every lesson that we have for our students? And then my last little point is to maybe even reconsider that it's not just four C's that we need to be challenging kids towards, but a fifth C of compassion. So a lot of design thinking, problem solving models are starting to include having empathy for your client as one of the first steps in the design process. So understand the objective, understand the problem, but also have compassion for the person who you are designing or problem solving for. And I think that can never be overemphasized for kids, that we need to be having compassion for one another. So with that, I'll say goodbye for this Friday. And I hope that out of those slides, you found something that's a little bit useful and something you can explore a little more in a little bit more detail. I hope you have a great weekend.